everyone knows his music, but I think a lot
Hmm.
of people don't know that he used to be a baseball player in the early
Uh-huh.
50s and
Yes,
that
ma'am.
he pursued a career in country music to become that genre's first major black superstar.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Baseball was his first love. I know when right after he passed, they of course donated a bronze statue outside the Ryman in Nashville. And my mom and I were doing an interview inside the Ryman, and the interviewer asked my mom, he said, "Well, do you think if he had the choice and he could go back and do it again, do you think he would still do music?" And my mom goes, "Oh, yes." I said, "No, there's no way he would do baseball." I mean, he loved baseball. And I truly believe that if he had not have cracked his elbow, he was a pitcher. But when
Yeah.
you've got Ernie Banks telling you your father was great, I don't know that you need any more endorsement than that.
So,
Yes.
Dion, what turned him to country music or what turned him to music
Well,
generally?
he always did music. And I'll tell you this, as a little boy, he had a nickname. His neighbors called him Little Bird because he would sing on the porch and all of his neighbors, they could hear him all up and down their street. And he always had a good voice. So he was yodeling at a very early age. So it was something that he had a gift for always, but he preferred baseball. And so he would play his baseball games in Montana because I remember going watching him pitch as a really young boy. I would watch him pitch and he would go to the clubs and he would sing for fun. And that's how he got discovered. Red Foley and Red Sovine heard about dad and came to this club. And he had his ball cap on, cockeyed, his uniform on when he got discovered. So it wasn't anything that he was intending to do. He was hell bent on playing baseball. His design was to break all the records in baseball, then sing.
Right. Right. Well, that
That's
didn't work out because the period of his greatest musical success was around 1969 through to 1975 when he
yes,
was
ma'am.
the top-selling artist, outselling even Elvis and John
Yes,
Denver.
ma'am.
He had
Yes,
something
ma'am.
like 52 top 10 hits.
He had 29 number ones alone.
So, Dion, what I know about you is that you were very musical from an extremely early age. You were
Yes,
playing
ma'am.
guitar and singing from the age of 5. You learnt
Yes,
drums
ma'am.
at 10, bass at
Yes,
12.
ma'am.
You play multiple instruments.
Yes, I started early because I worshiped my dad and I tried to do everything that he would do. I knew when I wanted to do this when I turned 13. I remembered the day. I don't know why it's so seared in my mind, but I remember I was 13 years old and I said, "This is what I'm going to do. I'm putting all my eggs in this basket." So I started grilling my dad on everything music. So I asked him one day, I said, "How much do you make on your records?" He goes, "Oh, son," he said, "I make my money on the road." He said, I only get pennies to the dollar for my records." And I'm like, "Why is that?" I said, "You're the star." He goes, "Well, yeah, but I don't write the songs." And I said, "Well, wait, what are you telling me?" He goes, "Well, the people who write the songs make more of the money off the records than I do." Well, at that moment, Sandy, that's what I focused on. And I thought the way that I'm going to get my ideas down is I've got to get proficient on my instruments.
So you discovered how to make money out of this and started writing your own songs. You were playing all of the instruments. He started
Mhm.
recording some of your songs and
Yes, I was so honored by that. And so, if you're talking about I miss my home, I wrote that and it was so gratifying, Sandy, because he was kind enough to do it with me as a duet in Ireland when we went and toured Ireland. These are the kind of things that when people ask me what's the best or the highest moment in your career or ever, well, I always tell people that hands down, it doesn't get better than performing on the stage of the Grand Ole Opry, singing harmony to your father, who is a Hall of Famer in the country music industry.
Dion, what are we going to see from you here in Australia in concert?
Well, I will say that it will be high energy. We do a lively show, and we're going to do all of these songs that you are very familiar with my father by. One thing that I will prepare you for, you and the crowds, I love reciprocal interactive shows. I am wireless usually, so I like to get down into the audience. But here's my thing, I always have what I call crowd participation songs. So what I do is I stop the whole band and it's just me and the audience. and I get everybody singing along to his bigger hits. And so they can expect that for sure.
Well, we're very excited to have you. You're going all over Australia to some of the
Yes, ma'am.
smaller towns and the bigger cities.
Yes,
Dion
ma'am.
Pride, fabulous chatting with you. And you do your dad so, so well. He'd be so
Oh, thank you.
proud of
That
you.
means so much because it means a lot to me how I represent him. He had three words that he would always tell me to live by. He said, if you live by character, integrity, and the most important one to him was humility, you should be okay. Well, I think he's proved himself out.